people, welcome back to the Baby Father podcast for a brand new episode. I'm your co-host today. I go by the name of DJ Ridler and I'm from Live Links. First things first, I want to big up to everybody who's been supporting the channel. It's definitely much appreciated down here. If you're new to the channel as well, welcome. It's good to have your company as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, share, follow, and press that notification button, all right? So you're gonna be the first to get any episodes, what actually comes up, all right? So we're gonna get straight into it today. I do have another special guest on today's show. He goes by the name of Isaac. Welcome, my brother.
What's going on?
Not too bad, yourself?
How you doing, man?
That's beat random question, you know. Yeah, I'm good, man, I'm good. And I was gonna say to you as well, anything what you say on today's show, it's your truth and your truth only. All right, we have to put that out there, and just whatever's gone through in your experience in your life, just follow it through. You get me? And we just take it from there, all right?
Yeah.
All right, my bro, you can relax as well, okay?
Of course, man. Of course.
All right, man. So where are we going to start today, man?
Whoa, do you know what? The first thing I wanted to say is that this whole concept of the baby fathers not being able to see their children, it's a pandemic. It's been out there for so long. And the thing is, I've only realised that once I was thrust into this world.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, up until 2 years ago, before my daughter was born, or whatever the situation I went through, I had no idea.
Okay.
I'm a man myself, innit?
Yeah.
You hear your boys say, oh, baby mom's stressing me, or rah. But until you've really gone through those type of situations, you really get how the impact. You get what I'm saying?
I think this is a silent war. This is when I say this, it's like it's a silent war. It's something where it's not spoken about enough. Yeah. So it's like we're finding out fathers are having to deal with it themselves.
Yeah.
And obviously creating a platform like this is giving a voice for fathers to get me to share their stories and experience with other fathers to kind of educate them and let them know they're not by themselves, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, your platform, your channel's new, but the issue is not. It's a old issue. But your platform is just allowing men to really share their stories.
Yeah, definitely.
And one thing I will say is, what you don't have to realise is a lot of men, they could be putting their personal circumstances at risk. So I really respect the guys who come up there, because it's easy to hear their story, but some of these people experience their consequences from telling their story. Yes. And that's what I said to you before, is my drive to help other men overrides anything that might come from this.
Of course.
I'm not here to slander my ex or her as a woman or what have you. It's my truth, like you said, but it's to help other men, because I've seen it too much where...
You get me? But anyway, listen.
Yeah, let's
I want to get to your story. Cool. Put the mic a bit closer so we're not losing no volume from you. Yeah? Yeah. Cool. So, obviously you just said you've got a 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me from how it started to... Let's start how it started first. So, how did it start with you and your mum?
Okay, so, I was married.
Wow.
I was married, bro.
And how did that come about?
So, I was raised in the church, innit?
Okay.
I was raised in the church. My ex raised in the church. So, from a young age, you're taught that's the right thing, especially in the space of raising a family. And so that was a goal of mine. You know what I mean? I was like heavily involved in the church, and met my ex. You know, we hit it off. Things were good, and that was the natural next step.
So how long did you, before you got married, how long were you with her first before you decided to propose?
Probably about 2 years.
Okay.
1.5, 2 years of dating. But I guess in the Christian realm, that's a sufficient amount of time.
Okay, I get you.
So, you know, our whole relationship was very like religious in that sense, you know, whether it's from counselling, the people we're around.
And did you follow the religion's rules, yeah?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Okay.
But you know what? It's so funny. The reason I think it's fascinating, because a lot of times on the comments you get people saying, "See, this is the reason why you need to know who you're marrying." No, this is the why you need to marry the person you're gonna have a child with, or X, Y, Z.
Of course.
Marriage doesn't prevent you from life situations. And, you know, I did it. I'm a very calculated person, so I thought I did it completely the right way. Do you know what I mean?
So you was following the rules?
The rules, yeah. So
or the religion?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the divorce rate is high. It doesn't guarantee you success. But long story short, I'm from London. From London. My ex is from up north, Leeds. And but I met her down here while she was studying X, Y, and Z. So then when we got married, we actually moved to Birmingham. I've got a property up there.
Okay, well done.
You know you can't buy it. I mean, London is too.
Listen, if you're gonna buy in London, you're gonna get a box room.
Trust me. So I invested in a property in Birmingham. Had no intention really of living there, but obviously once we were married. So bearing in mind, I'm away from family, friends, what have you. She's far away from friends and what have you. And then, as you do in marriage, I would say probably was it a year and a bit later that we found out she was pregnant. Now, I wouldn't say the marriage was perfect. We had our trials, tribulations, we had our situations, but there was no intention of ending it. You know, I think even with the pregnancy, oftentimes it kind of, I guess, clouds. I know it covers certain issues because you've got something to focus on.
Of course, do you know what I mean? Of course.
The issues don't go away, but when you've got a baby coming on, you both got something to look forward to. So certain maybe issues hit the back burner. But also, as you know, it can kind of elevate issues. Or it can, you know, really.
It depends. It can swing either way.
It can swing, exactly. It can swing either way. And what I would say for us is during the pregnancy, it was a challenging time, but things were cool. But I think once the baby came, you know, things were getting tough for both of us. Like within a relationship, and I always say, look, no one's perfect in it. Of course, that's why I'm not blaming no one in it. The circumstance I'm in now is a difficult circumstance, but when it comes to our relationship and marriage, you know, we both had a part to play in. We're both from different cultures, slightly different upbringings, so everything contributed to the unfortunate breakdown. And I say it's unfortunate because one thing I think any man out there would want this is that their child to have a loving father and a loving mother in their child's life. Do you know what I mean? Every stat is showing that a child develops psychologically, mentally when both parents are there.
Of course.
So it's in that sense, it's a shame that I couldn't provide that with my daughter. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
So that was a tough time. And so the baby, my daughter was born. Cool. I'm skipping so much what happened in our marriage. There was a lot of things.
Right. Can we just maybe just go to one of the things? What was okay? What question? Do you know what the question I want to ask you then?
Yeah.
Before your daughter came along, where's there problems in the relationship?
Yeah. Most definitely, and I think we didn't live together. Okay. Like the first time we really lived together was in Birmingham. Yeah. And I wouldn't say in hindsight, you know, there's a lot of things in hindsight, but I think when you live with someone, you start seeing obviously the real stuff. You start seeing habits, what she may not like of you, stuff you may not like of hers. Little small things like that, and some of them small things becomes the big things. Of course, you know what I mean. Whether that's financially, your values, work, what have you, elements of your personality. So there was clear differences there. So then I went forward to the baby. So things were festering before that. Then the baby comes along. As I said, I would say that 9 months, it was tough, but the focus was how are we going to be the best parents we can be. My daughter was born and it quickly deteriorated from there. It was tough. The pregnancy was tough. You know, it wasn't one of the smooth pregnancies. It was a very tough, and I will always say that, you know, what she went through was hard. But I felt like there wasn't a recovery really. So I'm gonna skip to my daughter being 2-3 months. Bearing in mind, I said we had issues. And like she does part-time modelling. So there's one evening my parents come up from London, and you know, they didn't have the greatest relationship, to be fair, I understand. Why was that? I mean, being respectful. I don't think there was a loving, welcoming openness.
From your parents?
No, I would say from her side. I don't think she ever really took to... To be honest, from what I've seen, you know what I mean? I'm not saying my parents are angels. It might, for whatever reason, you know, the spirit, the energy.
It wasn't connecting, it didn't connect.
It wasn't a thing where she'd be calling my mum be calling her, you know, where you have them.
Yeah.
It weren't that. Yeah. For whatever reason, I can't even answer that because my dad's my dad, innit? Yeah. Caribbean man, innit? But for whatever reason, I wanted that. I've got sisters as well, I wanted that, but it never really, what have you. So it wasn't a comfortable environment when they were around. So my daughter's 3 months now. There's one evening now where she was like, my parents are up, so she said, oh, you know what, I'm going for a shoot, a modelling shoot, right? I'm going to be back later on in the evening. Cool, it's 2-2s now, it's about 10 o'clock. And my parents are about to go back to London. So they're like, oh, where's and I said, oh, you know, she's meant to be here soon. I'll call her up, say, what's going on? Are you coming back? They want to say bye to you. Didn't hear nothing. Bro, I can't remember, maybe about 10:30, knock on the door. She's there with her. It seemed like there were so many people. Her mum, her auntie, couple guys, all people from a church.
Yeah.
At the door, bro.
10:30 at night, this is.
10:30, open the door. Like, basically, I'm coming to take your daughter.
But take your daughter where?
To Leeds. Like, to wherever. Like,
so you're on Brom.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my parents come up from London.
Yes, your parents come up from London. You're in Brom.
Yeah.
She's come up from the model shoot.
Yeah.
She's come with her crew. And said that she's going home to Leeds at 10:30 at night with a church group of people.
Bear in mind, all these people from Leeds. So she travelled down 2 hours to get. So, do you know, there were so many things going through my head. But one of the things was, I'm glad my parents were there. Because it's one of these things where, if I told you that and no one was there, it's one of those things, you wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, what do you mean they just...
So what was she telling her? But I don't get it. If she lives with you, why would she want to come from a model shoot to take the child to go back? What's all that about?
I don't know where she went that night.
Okay.
All I know is within that space of time, there was a bunch of people in my house taking some stuff and gone in it. I'll be honest with you, bro. It was like, because our marriage was on the rocks at that point, I wasn't even being against. I'd be lying to say that I was saying, nah, like, you ain't taking my daughter anywhere. I was like, you know what, we probably need a break. If this was a phone conversation, we'll be like, you know what, we're going through a tough time, I need to spend time with my family. I'd have been like, cool, I get in it. The baby's 3-4 months, it's tough, innit? I'm working, I would have been cordial about it. But I was thinking, what did she say to these people for them to... So
for a lot of them to come down?
Like, that's what was always... That was the only thing in my mind. I was like, what did you say? Did you say that Akko was, like, attacking? Like, what was... For you lot all just to come down? That's what the main baffling thing was. I was confused, bro. So, that happens now, right? The actual... When that all happened, it was more of a state of shock, innit? Like, you don't know whether, like... Right, is it like a ting? I bring the guy, the two guys out. It was like a brother and someone else. I was like, what do you think you're doing?
Are you coming for muscle?
But it's not that. This is what I'm saying. These are church people. Like, it weren't that. So I'm just a bit baffled, bro. I'm like,
you're confused.
I'm confused. I'm looking at my mum and my dad. They just look confused as well. So cool. So that's happened, right? She's gone off. They all gone off. I said bye to my daughter, innit? Like, she's I kissed her. It weren't like, it was a mad situation, but it weren't like, we weren't fighting, innit?
It was just like, cool.
This is a shock. I don't know why we didn't have a conversation, but...
We'll do this another time.
I'm taking my daughter into the car, I'm kissing my daughter, cool, bam. That's happened, bro. I'm sitting in, these times I'm in Brom now. I'm like, okay, cool. I need to see my daughter. I need to talk to her. My wife at the time was like, what's happening, innit? What's good? And I think this was the moment where I realised this marriage, I think this is done, innit? So I remember I went up to, I drove up to Leeds. I said to her, I'm coming up that Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, and I said, I'm coming up to Wednesday. I need to see you. I need to see my daughter. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. You know what it's like. Without my daughter, innit? I need to see my child, innit? I drive up here. Bro, I drive up to Leeds now. I get to the house. I walk in, I walk in, there's about there's just a bunch of people from the church. There's about 2 or 3 pastors there with their wives. I'm looking at my wife over here, and they're like, we sit down, we need to talk about the marriage and everything else. I'm here to see my child. Like, you know what I mean? I'm getting caught off guard constantly, innit? No one's telling. Like, you could have told me all these people are gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan, innit? What's the plot?
Yeah.
So cool. Sit down, and bro, for about an hour, I was just getting slated by these pastors, man.
And what was the kind of things they were saying?
You got a baby father spirit. You're the reason why you're not around for your child. It was just. I felt like, you know what I felt like, bro? I felt like this is some kind of cult, bro. Do you know what I mean? I honestly felt that. I was like, what? Like, it was just relentless, innit? It was relentless. There was no balanced perspective. It was just...
So, because you... obviously, I'm not a church man myself. Obviously, I believe in God and stuff, and I will pray when I have to, whatever, But going to what you're saying... And if you have problems in your marriage, if I'm correct, isn't the pastor supposed to sit down with the 2 of you and be neutral to find out how they can obviously make the situation become better?
But bro, look at the settings. The settings weren't even neutral, bro. I went up to see my child, innit? I didn't know, I wasn't aware of this. I went to see my child, and then you've got about 6, 7, 8. I can't even remember. There are a bunch of people in Leeds, away from London, and just me. I had one other person there. So the setup isn't even neutral. I sat there and just thought, I'm not about to expose. I didn't even feel comfortable exposing my business about our thing, innit? It's not the right settings, anyway. And I went, where's my child, innit? You know what I mean?
That's what you come to see.
Of course. And bro, if anything, because I'm going to skip on to where things are now, I would say that was a moment where I was like, you know what? I can't see where this marriage is going, because in that moment, not once did she defend me to say, you know what? He's been a good father, innit? You know what? Regardless of our issues in it, he's been there. Like, I was there every night at the hospital when the other partners were going home. I was staying there. Like, do you know what I mean? I've been very supportive in it. Like, so I thought, you know what? When your partners look trying to defend you, I think that's when I remember driving back and I said, okay, no. And the maddest thing as well, bro. Like, not a lot of people knew what I was going through. Okay. Because it's one of those things where embarrassment is a serious thing, you know? Not about shame. Yeah. Especially when you get married, it's all over social media. Coming from like a church background, and we were like the couple that, you know what I mean?
The dream kind of couple where everyone's
and then they have the baby, like one thing.
Got a house.
Everything's set up nice, innit? So not a lot of people knew, and that was a lot of the shame was heavy on my head, on my mind, innit? More than anything, I was like, man, like it's not working out. How's this gonna look? So bam. So I don't even want to go into the marriage, but the divorce went through.
So did you ask for the divorce, or did she ask for the divorce?
I applied for the divorce.
So you applied for it?
I applied for the divorce, knowing full well. I didn't realise that would have caused me not to see my child, but I knew that, let me put it like this, bro. For me to have put in those papers and got to that point where I was like, I can't do this no more. It was mentally, I was in such a bad place, bro. Of course. Where I was like, I already understand some of the repercussions that I might spend the majority of my life not being in my child's life. But if I don't end this, whatever this is, I might lose my mind, bro. Yeah. Before this, you know, when people say I've been going through mental health issues and all that, I was kind of one of them guys, like cool, but we're still in England, innit? In the sense of we're not in no third world country, or like we still got a roof over our head, innit? Like I kind of diminished the whole mental health thing, bro. Not seeing your child and going through certain things, like I had to protect my mentals, bro. I had to. So I made that decision knowing that might mean. But I thought to myself, you know what? If I can, I didn't want to be...
You have to protect yourself.
Do you know what, bro? This is how I saw it, I said, I could be in a marriage where I'm half or like a third of who I am. And I would be a better father out of that situation. Who was mentally strong, because where I am now, for me to be here is talking to you, knowing that this is going to go out in it. Mentally, do you know what I mean? I'm in a balanced place now. But I could have been in that situation where I would be mashed up and...
when it comes to marriage, because obviously you're kind of the first father who's been on the show, who's been married, alright? When a guy gets married, what is it that a father's looking for, like yourself? Before you went down on your hands and knees, what was you looking for?
In terms of a wife?
Yeah.
I think at the time, obviously, a woman who was like actively in church, has a strong foundation in faith. Someone honest, had integrity. Obviously, you look at factors of what would this woman look like as a mother, and as a you don't. No one enters marriage thinking divorce. You think this is life partner. That's what I entered marriage in. So I think the difference probably with relationships is that kind of get out clause. When you're committing someone, bro, I went on one knee and I said the vows, innit, through life, life and death and what have you, through sickness and health. Yeah?
Of course.
So you're thinking automatically. You're thinking life partner. What qualities would sustain us for life till the time we die? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. And the reason why I asked you that, because it goes on to my next question.
Yeah.
Because by looking at what you've done, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're in the church.
Yeah.
You followed through with having a girlfriend. From having a girlfriend, you turned her into a wife.
Yeah.
From turning her into a wife, you then obviously bought a place.
Yeah.
From bought a place, you then had a baby.
Yeah.
So as from
proper way.
The proper way. So. The reason why I say that is because when you obviously speak to ladies and they say to you, "Oh, I want to get married," and all this kind of things, everything what you've kind of done is what they expect a man to do. Right? So when they expect a man to do that, the question then has to then be, when a man does it, what then comes next? Because to hear what you're telling me at the moment and the way she was dealing with you, but obviously bringing other people, obviously I don't know her side of the story.
Yeah, cool.
Right? But to her to bring other people into the house to come and just take your child without even notifying you or telling you what was going on, that is your wife.
Yeah.
So for that to be your wife, unless the pastor's coming to sit down with the both of you to try and reason to be mutual, I don't really understand what was the problem. Why it couldn't be solved just with you two able to sit down and talk.
Yeah, of course. You
understand?
So I'll tell you this, and I think a lot of people maybe grow up in the church, or Christians will know this, but the church can be so damning or damaging, whereas they have so much influence in you or your partner, where you're not even talking to your partner, you're talking to the pastor and all their opinions and the congregation and the mothers in the church. And do you know what I mean? There were a lot of times, a lot of scenarios where I didn't feel like I was talking
to her.
It was, do you know what I mean?
Indirect.
Trust me, for real.
Indirect.
Like, honestly, there was a times I felt like there was a child in that marriage, because it's like, I can't talk to my partner as a man with my own morals and values and what I'm trying to instill in this.
Of course.
But, you know, she's got the backing of all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So you feel like you're by yourself, kind of, at times.
Yeah. And you know what it's like as a man, innit? You're not gonna... We like to resolve things. And, you know, okay, we're the head of the house. However, culturally, you might not be, but what have you. I'm going to direct this ship in the right direction. But when you're fighting, you feel like you're fighting against a legion of other people. It's tough. It's tough.
And I've actually heard people who I kind of know who is in the church, and they do say that it is tough being in a marriage. And there is some people in marriages, they're not even happy in their marriage.
Bro, shall I tell you what? What we like to do in church, we like to celebrate longevity rather than happiness. Okay. So you will have a lot of people get up and say, "Yo, testify, we've been married for 35 years, and for the last 30 years I've been sleeping in separate beds." Or my man cheated on this one or this one. So we celebrate longevity rather than are you actually happy? And there's a lot of people who would rather to hold face, say, you know, we are happy because they want to have this certain image. Of course. Bro, I mean, the fact that I even applied for divorce, I'm on this platform, tells you that I'll be released from all of that kind of stuff.
You're more protecting your health.
Of course.
Your mental health, so your happiness, and you're just looking at, look, I've tried everything. And this is where I am at now.
And to go on that, it's like, once I went through what I went through, a lot of people opened up to me, and I was like, right, you're going through that. You've been going through that for how long?
For many years.
I'm not advocating people divorcing and all that kind of stuff, but like, you know, prioritize your mentals and your health. It's only better for, I mean, this is baby fathers. It's only going to benefit your children if you're in a good place.
Of course.
I don't know how damaging it is for, you know, children in relationships or marriages where the parents are just at constantly. So bro, whoa. So after that, after applied for divorce, I can honestly say things made quite a significant downturn from that.
U-turn, yeah.
Yeah, because you know, I've heard so many stories on these podcasts, but you know, I just wanted to get to the point. We had mediation. I wanted to get to the point and say, look, how can we be effective, productive parents? How can we be in unison? And it's unfortunate what happened with our relationship, but like, let's focus on our daughter, right? And where it kind of came to where it really kind of, you know, hit the fan kind of thing. It was like January these times now. So my daughter was born in that June 2019, January 2020.
So you don't split it up after 4 months of the child being born?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When Leeds never came back.
Yeah.
Okay. There was things in there.
Yeah.
But, that
I just had to clarify that.
Yeah.
Right.
So these times I'm still in Birmingham, bro.
Yeah.
And I had to get back to London. At the time I remember I had a job, everything was set up nice, innit? Property, them things. But I wasn't around my family. I knew people in Brom, but I wasn't around my family and my friends and that.
And you need that support.
I needed that, bro. I needed that. So this was one of these scenarios where I was just like, boy, this is serious. So I drove up from London these times with my little sister to Leeds. Because these times I was seeing my daughter every 2 weeks. It was cordial, but it wasn't what I wanted, really.
Yeah.
I drive up there. My little sister, you know, 200 miles away from
each way, innit?
Yeah, 200 there, 400, bro. My tank, bro.
Yeah, I know that, bro.
You know,
I know that.
Booking a hotel, innit?
I know, bro.
This is even going off that. I imagine I was in gym, and one brother was telling me, this is when I was living in the East, he's like, I ain't seen my child for like a year or whatever. And it's like, where's your child live? All the way in North London. And you know them ones where you're like, I didn't even want to say. I don't know his scenario, but he was saying, yeah, my baby must move my daughter from east to north. I was like, my lord, if you knew,
yeah.
If you knew.
Man, have to put in that mileage, bro.
Yeah, trust me, man. So we drove up there in January, man. Little sister, come to see my daughter. I get to the house, my daughter's at the door. These were just short visits, like a couple hours, you know. And my sister's at the door. Imagine I'm in the house with my little daughter. It's like, they wouldn't let my sister in the house.
Okay.
Like outside the house, right?
So they want to let her in, basically.
They want to let her in. Okay. My little sister, you know. So
how old is your sister at the time?
She's like 20, 21.
But you ain't that little, bro.
20, 21. No, I'm saying, when I say little sister, no. I know. I'm not saying like, I meant like she's my little sister. Like that.
I'll get you now.
No, like, the reaction was like, because when I told you the story, the reaction was like she was a mandem.
Yeah, okay.
The way that, because, bro. The way it got dealt with, it was like a mandem. But like, I say little sister in it.
Okay.
Bro, like, police, everything. Like, this is what I'm saying. It got mad. This is what I'm saying, bro. So, I'm in the house. I was like, let her just see my daughter in it. It's been fun in it. So, like the mother-in-law's having back and forth with my sister in it. Long story short, my ex is like, step outside the house. Like, cool. Like, I just want this to resolve. Like, I'll come all this way. I want to see my child. Next thing, bro. Police come.
The boys in blue.
The police come, bro. You see all them people come last time? All of them there. The pastor.
No
some
way.
Other brother. Bro, the brother come down with about 5 men.
So, okay, they don't let me...
Bro, I've got this... I've got it all on... My sister was filming, innit?
let me just bring this right back, you know, right? Because I need to kind of get something cleared up.
Yes.
When you and your sister went there...
Yeah.
Did your sister come on any shouting tip or she come on the mellow tip?
No,
so she was calm.
Yeah.
You came on the calm thing.
It was agreed, everything.
So it was agreed that you was coming.
Yeah.
You told her you was coming with your sister.
Course, man.
And you was obviously coming down. Right?
Yeah. You don't drive 4 hours just by chance. Yeah. It was agreed. Yeah.
So when the police came, what was the allegations about for them to turn up?
I was aggressive.
For what?
Imagine the scene. Picture the scene, There's me, my sister, and then there's about 10 other people. The police are there, and I'm the aggressive one. I could, if I would show you the video.
Yeah, show offline, but off there. You could show it off there.
And I'm saying this to the police. I'm saying, like, how do you see what you're entering, innit? And they're just saying to me, oh, you know what, you have to take this to court. You have to take this to court. And I think, obviously, that sounds quite dramatic scenario. What I realised at that time was the length someone would go to for stopping you seeing your child. There was no aggression there. Like, we were having a bit of an argument, but to call police, especially on a black man who's away from every, do you know what I mean?
We already know this. We know how the police are towards us. That's why you can't even call them, because they're not here to help. None of us, man. Anyway, you understand?
And do you know what was the main thing, bro? Even though obviously we're at that point, we're going through divorce and all that, I thought there was enough love as parents between us to say, you know what, we're never going to put each other in a compromising position.
Of course.
So I think that was the first time I realised, the lengths that some mothers would go through.
I'm going to put this out there to all mothers, right? To all mothers now. If you call the police on the father of your child, the amount of respect he's going to lose for that mother after, it's going to be completely... that love can turn to hate. That he wouldn't even want to chat to you or like you anymore. If that kind of makes sense, because I feel like calling the police on a father, that's like one of the worst things you can ever do. You understand? Like, and I'm talking that's through all cultures. You understand? That's one of the worst things you can do to a father. You get me?
Because you already know how it's set.
Thank you.
You already know how it's set.
Thank you.
And it was like, I left that situation thinking, I felt at that time, this woman's trying to destroy me. I don't understand why. This whole time, bro, the only thing I can put my finger to is the breakdown of a relationship. I was like, so why am I going through all of this? Because that happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But now why am I being denied access to my child? It didn't make sense to me, because certain men, their children are 10 to 15, they're being through this, and this was all new to me.
It's fresh.
It's fresh. I was struggling comprehending that I'm actually in this situation. So cool, right, that happened. And then obviously I did the whole thing, writ letters to her, said, look, can we just come to some agreement? That was the last time I saw my daughter till August, bro. So at that point, you know, I was trying to be cordial, trying to what have you. Then it was like, okay, nothing's happening, I have to go to court. Now, bro, I say this, it's one of these things where it kind of grinds me. When I see comments from men and women saying, you know, if you really cared, you would go to the courts. Like, shut up if you don't know, innit? Just shut up if you don't know, bro. That's all I can say, because filling out that C100 form, going through that whole process, solicitors and all that, it's not easy. There's a lot of men who can't, like, they might not even be used to writing out documents, innit? They might not even, do you know what I mean? They might not even be used to all that. But the process of doing the research and all that, it's not easy. The financial commitment, the stress, it regurgitates all of those emotions. It's not easy, bro.
I think, kind of echoing to what you're saying, is that I think the father has to be in the right frame of mind for able to take on that stress, as you said, to take on that energy. And if he's not in the right frame of mind, as you said, it can affect his mental health. That it could turn a man crazy.
Of course, man.
You understand? So I feel to like any fathers out there who obviously is thinking of going to court, or if someone might tell you, oh, you're stupid for not going to court. As easy as it sounds, as you're saying, it's hard to get yourself to pick yourself up and say, cool, I'm really dealing with this particular emotion right now. I do want to see my child, but at the moment I do not feel that I have the strength to go through this situation. You get me? If I'm right.
You're 100% right, because it was only until I went through the process and I realised how extensive it is, and then you assume that just because you won't go to court that you're going to get the outcome. That's a whole nother thing. I remember I saw one of your podcasts where they were talking about once you get a court order, it's essentially a piece of paper. What if they don't abide to it? What do you think, they're just going to turn up and arrest? Do you know what I mean? No, I don't think most men would want that, but you know, for you to go through all of that and then know that the outcome a lot of the times,
it might be not what you expect it to be.
It's not even close to fair, So imagine this now. So I go through the whole court system, bro. I applied for the courts in February. I didn't get a court date till August. I think it was August, bro. So the last time I saw my daughter, she was barely crawling, bro. Next time I see her, she's walking.
Yeah, so you missed all of that.
Bro, missed her first birthday, first tooth, first time she tried to walk. Like, bro, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw my daughter like, in August, pretty much broke down, innit?
Of course.
Messed with my mind, man.
Of course.
But also going through that process, it's not set up for you and your baby mums or your ex to be, it's not set up for you to work unison, innit? That's one thing I will say, innit? Because I don't have any issues, apart from what I'm going through at the moment. I don't have no hatred towards her or what have you, innit? I'm just like, let's focus on our daughter. But going through that situation, if you did have any qualms, it's not set up for unity. It's set up for, what's your side, bro.
This is what it is after.
And I don't care what anyone says, it's like, why would you don't really want to invite the court system in your person. You don't.
Well, I think
unless obviously it's to help. But do you know, I give this analogy. It's like, let's say me and you have a car crash, and I'm at fault. You don't really want to tell the insurance. If I say, you know what, you go private, because all you're gonna do, even if you're not at fault, you're just letting the underwriters know and the insurance know that you've been in an accident. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I meant by that.
Yeah. No, I 100% understand where you're coming from and get you what you're trying to say. But I also do feel so that when it comes to, for me personally, it should be able for mum and dad able to sit down. Obviously, at times, one parent can be hurting more than the other, and it seems to be the mums who usually seems to carry the emotions with them, and they don't know how to deal with the emotions. So what they end up doing is trying to use the child as a weapon and be spiteful and do what they try to do. Unfortunately, some mothers don't know how to let go, and it could be years on years before they let go. And even still, some of them might even go into a new relationship and still causing that father problems. And if I met a woman and she had a child father, and that child father wasn't in that child's life, I have to ask her, what happened?
100%.
You get me? Because I feel that there's too much man in relationships, right? And the father's not around, and instead of the man actually thinking like, well, why is the dad not around? It's more like, right, he's not around, he's kind of happy for it. But big man, you have to find out why that father's not around. Because I'm sure if you sat down with my man and he told you two things, you might think, raw.
Listen, I now understand. This concept didn't make sense to me before, but I now understand why a man might say, I can't do this no more. Do you get what I'm saying? I really get it, because I've been in that dark place. I've got a brethren whose friend committed suicide. The baby mother used to send pictures of his 3-year-old daughter on different men's laps.
Mugging the thing, blood.
Bro, there's a man, like, he took his life, man. And there was a point where I can see where a man is like, for the sake of this, I have to. And I know how hard that must be as a man. Bro. Do you know what I mean?
To even have another man around your child, obviously that's something you have to be able to come with and deal with. Yeah. But to even hear that story where she's put a next man on the child to sit down and whatever, she's just like, she knows what she's trying to do to him.
And
I'm saying, and it will mess up a man.
Of course.
You get me?
Of course.
This is not no joke to me. This is why I keep on stressing to mothers that when you're doing certain things to fathers, do not think that fathers don't have feelings, fathers don't care. They care everything about that child. You get me? The problem with it is he doesn't maybe want to be with you. He just wants to be here for his child. Let him just be there for his child. Done.
And you know what? I had to come to that balanced perspective, really. And this is why I really have perspective, bro. It's like, all of these women can't be wicked.
No.
Do you know, when I say even the women are doing it, it's like, I don't know if their emotions, we see it through the lens of a man, right? And women are more emotionally tuned. So I don't look at her and my ex, what have you, and say, she's purposely doing this. Some women actually feel like this is the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? They actually, in their mind, do you get what I'm saying? They actually think, it's mad to me, but I'm convinced some of them think that what they're doing is actually protecting their child.
But I also think it's also down to who they may be around. Because if you're around people who would tell you, like, if you've got real people around you, and they'll tell you what you're doing is right, what you're doing wrong, that's your real people behind you. But if you actually got people telling you that holding your child away from its father, and that's a right thing, and you know in yourself that your friend is doing that, and you don't say nothing to your friend, then you're not real, fam. Because if I sat down with my boy and he told me he's not looking for his youth, as his boy, I'm not saying rude, but you're doing your thing different. Go and look for your child. Because I couldn't sit there with a man knowing that he has full access to his child, but he doesn't want to look for his child. It wouldn't make no sense.
No, you're right. So, anyways, let me kind of push through, because I like kind of give you an update where we're at now. So the C100, Kafkas got involved and all that kind of stuff, and I know there's a lot of guys have a negative perspective. I wouldn't say I had a negative perspective, because the Kafkas lady who I had, she was fair, but I came my focus was my daughter. So even when the Kafkas was saying, "What's about your relationship?" What was that? I was like, you know what? With all due respect, it was. The relationship broke down, but I want to focus on my daughter. And I think there's a lot of men who, in those scenarios, will speak so bad of their baby mum, where the Kafkas lady or whoever it is saying, okay, this is how he speaks of X, Y. I'm kind of building a character profile. So any men out there, I would just advise you, please focus on your child. Because they're well versed in what they're doing. I'm not speaking negative or positive of them. I don't know these people, the Kafkas, but they're there they don't know you in it. So they're just building a character profile. So if you're there saying F this, my baby, they can only build one
off that.
I
feel like you got hatred towards the mum.
Of course. And that's the only thing that they can judge your character on. So through the whole process, I was always very focused on saying that my daughter is the only. I just want to come to an agreement where I can see my daughter regularly. So remember I said I didn't see my daughter from February to pretty much August. When I went to the court, it's all so funny. I came so prepared, bro. I came with emails, like receipts, videos, all that kind. I came so prepared.
When you went to court, did you have a solicitor of you? You represented yourself?
Because it didn't make sense to me.
Okay, then.
I said, in my head, I was like, all I want is to see my daughter every other week for like a weekend. Because I understand my daughter lives 4 hours away. So the reality of having a week in London, week in Leeds, I was very fair in my.
So let me just ask you a question. So when you went to court, do you have like a piece of paper where all the things that you're asking for, you make sure that's all down in that documents, bro, when you give it to the court? Yeah,
because I did a lot of research. I looked at hundreds of case studies, tried to find similar to mine. I looked at a lot of stuff in America. I spoke to a solicitor. I decided I don't see how they can present my information any better than I would. Without spending $1,000 or what have you. So I was well prepared for my.
So what did you put on your piece of paper? What you asked for?
So in my one, I gave my reasons to say, I want my daughter every other week. I demonstrated that I was realistic. I said I live in London. She lives in Leeds. I know it's unrealistic for me to have a week in London because of the travelling, all that kind of stuff, and she needs to have a base, particularly when she's older with school. So I said like can I have a half the time during school holidays? Stuff like 28 days notice of if I was to fly out with her, all that kind of stuff. So, there's a lot of templates online which I kind of just amended. Like kind of remixed it, basically. Birthdays, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. New Year's, how we would rotate it.
Cool.
Bro, I had all of that there. When I came to court, they didn't look at nothing, bro.
No.
Not even in a negative way. They came to us and they was like, okay, we're going to implement you being reintroduced into your daughter's life. These are going to be the court order X, Y, and Z. Are you happy with this, Mr. Rock? Yeah. Are you happy with this? Yeah. Cool. It was so quick.
So everything you asked for was granted.
No. They said to me they set out a progressive court order. So it was like your first meeting will be for 3 hours. In a neutral place with the mother-in-law, for example. And after 2-3 months, it will progress to alone time, which will progress to. But then the court order is only, I think, 3 or 4 months long. So where it stopped, my court order finished in March. So where it stopped, it was having her for independent time for like half a day. And then what they say is, if you need to go back to court, then we have another court order. If not, but we hope that by that time, So, and you know what it is, you have to be understanding, because I was like, I had to come to reality. My daughter don't know me. So as much as I would want it, it's like I'm having a 1-year-old who's basically with a stranger. Like it was hard for me because I was like, how at the time?
How can you? Had you bond with a
3 hours,
daughter?
In 3 hours in a public space. So, but this is what I'm saying. Like over time, you have to mentally mature in it. They say that boys react, men respond in it. So everything I was trying to not react initially, and I'm thinking, okay, what's best for my child? So that process happened. So I was driving up to Leeds, you know, seeing my daughter, and the first couple of times she was crying, I can't lie, and then over time she got to know me. Like, she's like a twin, like she's literally, it's undeniable, innit? And now like she's 2, and where we're at now is I say every 2 weeks, pretty much half a day from like 10 till 4. It's still tough because I want to have her in Leeds. I'm in London. I want to have her for weekends. I've had that conversation. The mum said to me, well, she sent me a document saying it's not healthy for her. My daughter knows me now. When she sees me, she smiles, like she's comfortable. I have her independently, and she's my daughter, my baby. I say baby, I don't even like to say that, but my ex,
your child's mother.
My child's mother was pretty much was like, I don't think you should have her for weekend or overnight stays until she's 3 years old.
But okay.
So now, let me go from here, right? This is where experience and responding comes to place. I made a decision, bro, right? There's only so much you can fight in it until you go back to where you were. I made a decision in my mind and said, you know what? It's not what I want. It's heartbreaking that I have my daughter from 10 to 4 and I have her 2 video calls. Yeah. But my only other option now is to go back to court. What I believe will happen will that cause another division, and I'm almost fearful that, you know, you don't get court dates straight away. But during that time when I apply to go back to court, I won't see my child again. Yeah. For that period of time, because where we're at now, we're in a lot better place. But
it's not where you want it to be.
Yeah, it's not where you want it to be. But me going to court again, I feel like it could go backwards.
Yeah, it's going to go back to her telling you can't see your child again.
And sometimes you have to make a decision where time, I don't know, this might be infinite, right? But I've decided that I'm going to play the odds where hopefully over time, because things are improving in the sense of not as much as I get her, but our communication is getting better. Yeah. That might be the better option than going through that whole process again. Yeah. And another man would say, why don't you just go to court? It's like, that's an ignorant statement. And I've been through it and I know what it's caused and I know what that likely outcome is as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So let me just ask you this. When you went to court, would you think, if you had a solicitor to represent you, would you thought that the outcome could have been different?
I don't see how, because ultimately, the solicitor is there to represent you, but the CAFCAS people, who's the safeguarding, making the final decision. And I don't know, the CAFCAS wouldn't have deviated from the fact that I haven't been in my child's life.
So, hold on a minute. So, was CAFCAS involved because there was an allegation made with the police?
No. So, it's whenever, I've only got my experience, but when you make those child arrangement orders, CAFCAS, they advise the courts. So, they talk to both parents. Yeah. And either way, for the welfare of the child, they would have said you need to be reintroduced. Okay. So to be honest, the progression of what was highlighted out for the court order, I was relatively happy with. But I just knew when that court order came to an end, the progression wouldn't be as quickly as I would want it to be. Yeah.
All right. So right now, you see her. Yeah. Every other week still. For what, 6 hours?
Yeah, leave my house by 6 a.m, drive up to Leeds.
Get there by 10. Finish at 4. And then come Alright, so you have that in place. Yeah. She said to you that you can't have the child to stay with you till she turns 3 years old. How old is she at the moment now? 2?
She just turned, 2 and like 2 months.
2 months, so you basically got another 10 more months before she could come and stay at your house. Yeah. Now, when she's with you, she's fine now, right? Yeah. So if she's fine, I'm not telling you to go court, but can there not be a level where there's like a tester? If the mum doesn't want it to happen every other week, she can't at least do once a month?
Yeah, well, this is why I was saying it's how am I playing it essentially, which sounds crazy because I'm on here chatting about it. Yeah. But if I was to be honest, I'm hoping it's not 10 months. I'm hoping start of next year we can have a chat and say, look, it's been running how it's running. You know, my daughter's fine with me. We both want our child to be in my life. Let's try that. Because I even said I spend the weekend in Leeds. I know what that means. I know, bro, you know how much hotels are. For me to, do you know what I mean? I don't have a place there. Yeah. So book him from Friday to Sunday. I work, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let's trial that. Like,
basically, let's trial the hotel for now.
Yeah.
And then from hotel.
Let's make steps. Yeah. Bro, I can only say to you that I feel that that's my best outcome. Because you might have a court order, but if you two ain't on good terms, I saw this one little documentary on Channel 4 where the mother had broken the court order 58 times.
And then he got away with it. And the dad's paying every time.
You tell me, what are the consequences going to be? You tell me, bro. What do you really think they're going to do?
Well, to be fair, I have heard, I can't remember what form it is, but the mum can actually go to jail.
Yeah.
Right, depending on the levels of if she's obviously not, if she's not compromising or whatever, there is certain papers that you can apply for that she can go to jail. To hear that for 58 times, I don't know what was going in that judge and whatever.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't even got to 58 because by when it hit 4 or 5 times, the judge should kind of know what's really going on. You get me? But
I mean, look, I might be wrong. I might be wrong, bro. But it's one of the things that's like, if I'm seeing progression, I realised I spoke to like uncles and a lot of older men. I was chatting to one brother in Shepherd's Bush. I was just parking my car in it. And you know, like, he must have, you know when one of your elders just look at you, what's going on, young man?
They know.
They're just knowing it, yeah? And he said to me, listen, your child's got a whole life to live. He said, don't lose... don't die over a battle when you've got a war. And I don't even want to look at that perspective, but don't kill yourself in the short term when my daughter's like your daughter's age, I'm going to be like, man, I was almost killing myself for this. And now me and my baby ones, we're going Disney World together and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to have that realistic perspective.
Of course.
Because I know how, I guess, mentally, not fragile, but I know where I was before. And I really don't want to go to that place. It's not a joke. Do you know what I mean? I'm really in a good place now. As hard as it is, I know where I could be. So yeah, all I was saying, my advice for any man is to just let go of that hatred, that animosity. It's wasted energy. And ultimately, you have to, regardless, we've made a life together with someone else, so they're going to be in our lives. And you have to get to that point where you're like, you know what, regardless of everything, because I know madness has happened, Pilly's been called, threats, all that kind of stuff.
Just put that aside.
Put that aside. It's easier said than done because I've been through it, bro. But you have to put that aside and look at your child and say, you know what, that's the focus. Because if we raise productive, well-rounded young people, young kids, that's a win, innit? Unfortunately, we might have failed in our relationships, but that's the ultimate goal as parents. That's what we all want to see as fathers, you know? And as mothers, you know
definitely. Well, my brother Isaac, I want to say thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get you back again, you know.
Come, man.
Definitely have to get you back on because I know there's so much more to your story, but obviously you're still at a situation in that certain part right now, but it's still trying to get mended. So you don't want to put too much smoke to the fire right now.
Of course, man. No.
You get me? But I know you've obviously done this because you said you did want to get your story out. You do want to help other fathers, which is really good. Let us know where they can find you on all the social platforms.
Yeah. So I've got my Instagram. We'll probably post it up.
We put it in a link on this.
And there's a project that I'm gonna be involved in. I don't even want to put the name out just because it's not there. But maybe if I'm on again, that I can talk more about it. But I don't want your platform to be the only one who are helping. So you know, no competition or nothing. But you know, you just want to help. So
we just here to give out information.
Man, if you need to just message me because I'm here to talk, man. So love.
Alright, listen, everyone. We want to hear your views today. It's definitely been a different episode. I want to hear your views today. Drop it in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like, and click that notification button. Alright. We are the Baby Fathers. It's myself, DJ Ridler. Make sure to have a good one. Be safe. Till next time. We're gone, man.